I'm ready. I'm good.
All right. Welcome to our Night One review of WrestleMania 36, which took place last night at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Hope everyone is doing well right now and staying indoors, safe and sound from everything involved going on right now. I'm the ABA. Joining me as always is Richard.
Up, people.
Ricardo.
Good morning, everyone.
And the First Lady of the show, the lovely Tara.
Hello, beautiful people.
Yes, hello, beautiful people. And King Kenny will sadly will not be joining us at this moment. Hopefully, like just the same case with yesterday, he'll be able to join us later, but we'll see how that goes. Nothing guaranteed here. All I ask before we get into it,
Kenny.
Right. All we ask before we get into it here with the review is to please make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any content you can only hear on this platform such as this. So, WrestleMania 36, night one of the show took place last night. Obviously, going into this weekend, we knew this event was going to be unlike any other WrestleMania we've ever seen up to this point. There was going to be no fans in attendance, and in turn, the atmosphere we've come to expect from WrestleMania wasn't going to be there. There was also the fact that it was going to be taking place at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, instead of at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Add to the fact that we had the news that it was taped last week. The entirety of WrestleMania this year was taped, so we didn't have that live feeling and overall vibe to this show. Let's just get into it with the match card here. We had Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross against the Kabuki Warriors for the women's tag team titles. Yeah, this was just plain boring to watch. I mean, the effort was there with the women. The effort was there with the women, well, except for Alexa because she's terrible in the ring.
Do you guys actually believe the effort was there? Because I felt like I caught glimpses where they couldn't even take it seriously. Like there were moments where
in a way
like,
you couldn't blame them because they had no crowd to play up to. The expectations weren't that high.
I mean, well, compared to some other matches that we saw during the night, you did see that it was possible. I think it was possible for them to play up to it if they just kind of took out the fact that there wasn't a crowd and they just made it like, I guess, more of a one-on-one dialogue, because like I felt like with them, like they you could tell they were just not taking it seriously. I mean, it made it kind of comical more than anything. So for me,
I wanted to, I won't say, I said change the channel. I wanted to skip this match like very quickly because like within the first 5 minutes, this match was like ridiculous from the very beginning. And it's truly sad, especially in Asuka and Kairi's part, because these two are very talented out of the four of them. And they're acting so ridiculously on a title match. I'm like, start the match, kick their ass, and then be done with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like,
yeah, I just hated the competitive aspect behind this match. The fact that Alexa and Nikki have no problem fending off Asuka and Kairi, two legit badasses, especially Asuka, who's known for being
right now, can you really call them badasses? Especially the way that, one, they've been acting. Two, how they portray themselves. Three, Asuka looking like a complete fool. And Kairi being an annoying fuck. What happened to the Asuka we saw in 2017?
Yeah.
I want that.
I don't know. That was kind of that's why for me it was kind of weird because I felt like for Asuka and Kairi, they're like, fuck it, like we're not winning this shit anyway. And then for Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, like they were just like they couldn't keep a serious face either. So it was just kind of like the match just seemed kind of silly. And then it didn't help that the host and Alexa Bliss had that little one-on-one thing where it just seemed like it was just all comical. It seemed like a comical bit. So I mean, it was just. I wouldn't say that was a great match. That was not one of the best matches.
I wouldn't either.
Everything. It was complete, utter trash.
Yes, there we go. That's the best way.
Yeah, and Asuka and Kairi were their usual entertaining selves like they always are, so they made the match a little more tolerable than it would be any other team. Regardless of that, Bliss and Cross picked up the win after Alexa hit Twisted Bliss onto Kairi, and they won back the tag titles. You know, whatever, good for them, I guess. They have no challengers right now in the division. That's how dead the women's tag division is and has been since its inception.
What tag division is there?
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
I want to go. speak to based on I saw the ending of that match. When Bliss took the pin to on what's your name thing at the W. I saw that Twisted Bliss bullshit. I was like, the bitch landed on her legs. She did not land on her gut. She did not land on. I was like, kick out. That's nothing. My niece could take that, and she's 14, right? I'm like, guys, man, the fuck up, right? It's like this. Let's just all hope. I'm like, God is like right here, right next to me, right? I want him to revamp the whole women's tag team division. Correction, the whole women's division.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Well, honestly, I feel like there is no hope, and it's the way WWE is. Like, there is no hope for the damn.
I would never say there's no hope.
I would never. I won't say
it's very bleak. Like, they have all the talent, but then it's like they're not. It's like literally everything is handled on a freaking platter. They just have to tie the damn bow.
Yeah, but
they just literally toss it into the garbage.
Yeah.
But the thing is this, like, what I don't like about what they do with the women is that they always shove down the women's revolution down our throats. I'm like, son, we get it. Like, we understand. But it's like, Tara, back to your point, you have the best women's division that you've had in a very long time. That's valid. The last time the women's been booked properly was 2016, 2017, 2018. And then the minute that they went into an early last year into WrestleMania, after WrestleMania, they were done.
Yeah.
So it's like up to WrestleMania of last year, the women was booked strong. But after when they made events of WrestleMania, they did everything that they could have done. Elimination Chamber.
It wasn't even booked that strong because they were still pushing like I mean, it's better than what it is now, but like they were still pushing the wrong people. Because you remember that whole Nia Jax Carmella phase? Like, what was the point of that?
That was why.
Yeah.
That was why.
You could give NXT that credit, but I mean, the main roster still was kind of lacking. It's just like they always lack when it comes to the women's division because they don't give it to the right champions. Like, the only thing that they did right was Charlotte, but even with Charlotte, they kind of overbooked her too many times.
Yeah.
They're still doing that to this day.
No, not now. Not now. You know that. It's completely different now than it was back then. Completely different.
No, I'm talking about overbooking Charlotte.
Bro, she hasn't been overbooked in, like, around here currently in a long time. She's been overly booked the minute she got to the main roster. Wouldn't you though? If my top franchise star is number one in the game, wouldn't you do that?
Obviously, but at the same time, you have other talent to be used.
Okay, but if I have someone who's my number one star, right, who is the complete package, and I have a myriad of other stars that are lacking, each one, by the way, why wouldn't I overuse my star? They did it to Trish. They did it to Lita at one year. They did it to Cena. They did it to Austin, Taker, your boy Triple H, everybody. This ain't nothing new, bro.
The only thing is, though, it's just Charlotte. But that's the thing is that they don't know how to. It's weird. I don't know why they don't know how to book their women's division. Like, it's like they try to push what's like relevant because they tried to push. Well, Carmella was never relevant, but I know they was trying to push Nia Jax because of like the whole size thing.
The thing is that they try too hard.
I don't even think it's that because
exactly they try too hard to make the females worth watching when there aren't females in the women's division currently right now that aren't worth watching. Like you said, Carmella is trash. Nia Jax is trash. What's her name? Nikki Cross is trash.
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss is trash. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, Bayley, I can't stand Bayley. She's trash. Like, and everything.
This man with this Bayley hate.
I'm talking about. I don't care. But like the only thing, like the only people that are worth watching in the women's division in the main roster currently is Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, Shayna Baszler,
Becky,
Ronda Rousey whenever she returns.
Ronda's still kind of green. She still needs a little bit of, like, she needs more training, like how Shayna got training. Because
no,
I felt
she really
like
does. Shayna picked up
they
to
kind of
it much quicker to pro wrestling than Ronda ever did.
And I felt like that's because Shayna didn't have as much pressure as Ronda did going
That's
in.
also
And I
true.
felt like they should have trained her a little bit more. So I still think she needs a little bit more training so she could get to Shayna's level. So I wouldn't say that she's right there.
You think Ronda Rousey needs more training?
Yeah, just more in as just more in ring. Not as a wrestler, but as far as mic skills and pulling stuff. Well, actually, yeah, a little bit more as a wrestler.
Well, actually, she did get better on the mic.
She did.
She did because she was more suited to the heel role later on.
Yeah, but but think about it. Even if she returned, that's not gonna, like, she just learned it and then she retired.
That's
or
also
like left
true.
or whatever. So like she's
I
gonna
highly
have to
doubt
like
she was.
redo that.
I highly doubt she was working on it as she was gone for the past year. You know?
Yeah, like I mean, she's still gonna need to like brush up a little bit more. So we'll take her out for now.
Yeah, but moving on here.
I'm still. My bad, Alva. I'm still putting her in there because her presence alone elevates the women's division. That's why I'm putting her in there. Presence matters.
Presence does matter. I will give Ricardo that. Ronda had that from day one because she made a great first impression with her WrestleMania debut.
The only thing that Ronda really has that makes it interesting is her MMA background, because even with like that's what Shayna Baszler has going for her. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's what Shayna Baszler and Ronda have. That what's that girl's name that also has semi of an MMA background?
Sonya Deville.
Yeah, Sonya Deville. I can't even remember her. Like her, you see, like you don't even get that presence of like that background being used. Like it looks kind of tacky, but like Shayna and Ronda, like you've seen them in matches and you know that they could beat ass.
Well, the thing with Sonya Deville is, and sorry to cut you off there, man, but the thing with Sonya is she didn't have an extended run in MMA.
I know, but that's the character.
From what I remember, she only had like 3 legit fights.
And also another thing about Sonya Deville, adding to what you guys said, she has no personality.
No, I know, but that's her whole gimmick. That's her whole entire gimmick, and that's why Ronda. Was it with Ronda that she was having that feud, and then Ronda was able to like eat her alive. I think over, she was talking shit about like how she's using MMA.
Ronda Rousey taught Sonya Deville. There's levels to this.
So you know what I mean, like
compared to her. Like the thing is like, which I think low key, what you're missing, Tara, is that like Ronda Rousey brought something to the WWE that nobody brought, that no female has brought in WWE.
No, I'm not missing that. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that Ronda is still pretty valid because she has that background.
Ronda Rousey brought publicity to the WWE. That's why I'm putting her in. Her alone elevated the game in WWE. Right? Just by walking in and saying, like, I'm in your house. Charlotte never did that. Banks never did that. No female, not even Trish, did that. Right?
Well, yeah, because Ronda had, like, with her MMA background.
From an entertainment aspect, she's arguably the best one in WWE. Besides Charlotte Flair. Because what she learned in UFC, she brought it in WWE. And WWE is now copying UFC.
UFC's doing
they're taking some more elements of the UFC style, the presentation.
Exactly.
Into their programming.
That's what Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar brought to WWE. So you got to contribute to that.
But continuing your female list.
No, that's all the list. That list is trash. But take those ones out. You just do them.
Ricardo's up right on the money here, man. He absolutely is.
That is true.
Yeah, but we're going to move on here with Elias and King Corbin, which took place right after the women's tag title match. Not much to say here. Elias came out with his guitar. Corbin made a run for him in the entranceway. Elias smashed his guitar over the back of Corbin, made a great sound in the empty venue. They come into the ring, have their little match. Wasn't really impressed at all by the action. It was your typical Baron Corbin match. And let me just say something right now. I actually like Baron Corbin. The guy gets heat, does a great job with his character, and can put on pretty damn good matches.
I'm not gonna lie, he actually sold it as if there was still, like, I will give him credit. He did not break character at all. So it was pretty funny because he was still talking as if there's a crowd. He was still going, and I felt like that's what it should have been from the first initial match. So that was pretty refreshing, and that was pretty cool of him to do.
Yeah. And going back to what I was saying with Corbin putting on great matches from time to time, that really just depends on his opponents. And Elias, let's just say, was not it. Elias hits the jumping knee to the face, quickly gets Corbin into a roll-up, and that gets Elias the W. Like I said in the prediction show yesterday, I was baffled why they thought this match would make sense at a WrestleMania event, and the resultant action here did not change my mind whatsoever on that. Not to mention the wrong outcome. So.
I don't care.
You don't care.
I don't care.
I think that should have been a pre-show match.
Exactly. I mean, they had Gulak and Cesaro on the pre-show, which I would have paid good money for that match. Yeah. But if no one else has anything to say about this match, we're going to move right along to Becky Lynch against Shayna Baszler, the first big match of the two nights of WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. This surprised me that they put this match this early on in the show, third match on night one. Looking at what they ended up doing here, I'm glad they got it out of the way as quickly as they did. Now, if we're talking about the in-ring work here purely, this was the best match on the show up to this point. They had a pretty good all-action, stiff kind of match. I like that this match also didn't overstay its welcome, only went about 9 or so minutes. All that being said, the finish here was so horrific and baffling to me. What happened here was Baszler had Lynch in the Kirifuda clutch, her finish, center of the ring, and as Baszler took her down to apply the body scissors onto her, Becky rolled her up while in the hold, and the ref counted 1, 2, 3. Becky Lynch retains. Listen, on the whole, I like Becky Lynch. She's one of the better female in-ring workers in the entire company. And she still feels like somewhat of a legit star, despite losing a good ton of momentum since last year's WrestleMania high for her. I just felt that the time was right to get that belt off of her and onto somebody else.
Agreed.
That's someone with
Shayna
Baszler.
I felt like, especially because it just made no sense. Like, it's not like she was having a good title reign. It's not like she was having any good matches. Like, it was time for her to lose that belt. Like,
yeah.
The only thing I'm really upset about the situation as a whole,
it was Shayna's moment.
Exactly. It was Shayna's moment.
The timing made sense.
It was Shayna's moment from the minute that she came to Raw a couple months ago and stuff like that.
And that's the thing, is that this is the next best thing to Ronda, actually. Well, she's better than Ronda, but...
You booked Shayna so strong from the very beginning. She came to Raw. She went to Elimination Chamber. She beat everybody's ass. And then the next minute, WrestleMania finally comes, you have her lose. If you were going to have her lose, what was the whole point of booking her like this? Like, everything that they've done with Shayna is was a complete waste. She might as well go back to NXT and finish what she was doing there, because like now since she's been beaten from, it's like who does Becky have left to face? I say like you might as well bring back Ronda, because there's nobody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Ronda can't even pull off like that same edge that freaking Shayna pulls off. And that's the thing, is that for me, I felt like Shayna was the only person that could have pulled off taking off the belt from Becky Lynch, and it would have been interesting, because Ronda, not for nothing, you don't take, I don't know, she doesn't bring that same kind of like toughness that Shayna has. And I felt like that's what Becky needed, was to be humbled by someone like Shayna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like her whole gimmick, her whole entire thing was for her to take the fucking belt. Now she looks soft as fuck because she was talking all that shit and she ended up losing to Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas are gonna be tight. Like, okay, time out. I agree with Richard 100%. But actually, you know what? Not 100%. I would say 90%. Right? The only thing I disagree with is that I don't want Shayna to go back to NXT. That's the only thing I disagree about. Stay on Raw. Other than that, I agree with Richard. Richard will agree with me on this to buffer his point. This reminds you of the same predicament when Brock Lesnar first came back to WWE to face John Cena in a shoe removal. Same thing. You hype up Brock Lesnar, they hyped up Shayna Baszler. You have Brock Lesnar week after week beat the hell out of John Cena, tempting him, attacking him, whatever. You got Shayna Baszler beating the whole women's division in the Elimination Chamber. Match happened, right? Brock Lesnar dominated that match in Extreme Rules. And I don't give a damn what anybody says. Brock Lesnar won that match.
Agreed.
That match in Extreme Rules, right?
Agreed.
Shayna Baszler dominated Becky Lynch yesterday. There is no question. Becky Lynch can't handle the physicality of a Shayna Baszler. She can't handle it, right?
Exactly.
She can't handle it. And the thing is, to your point, Tara, I honestly think you're underestimating Ronda Rousey here. Because I've been watching Ronda Rousey for years, right? I honestly think you are underestimating what she could truly bring to the table, because in a hellacious and more physical standpoint, you saw a glimpse of it when you watched her face Charlotte in Survivor Series. If she could bring that to Charlotte Flair, which by the way was an even standpoint to Charlotte in Survivor Series, what makes you think she can't do that to Becky Lynch?
I think that she can bring it, yes. But I think she needs to work on it. That's what I'm saying. And that's what you're not understanding, is I'm not saying that she doesn't have the potential, but I'm saying she needs to work on it so she can get there. Shayna had that moment where she was able to actually work on it, hone it, and then be what she is now. Now, imagine if Ronda right now, the way she is, actually took that time, trained on every single aspect so she can actually be at her peak, at her greatest in the freaking ring. That would be better than what we're getting now, which is kind of like a semi-underprepared, she's learning as we get it while she's learning.
Yeah.
I see her point.
That would make
too.
more sense to me. I'm not saying she doesn't have the potential. She does. Like, obviously, she's like, she used to be one of the greatest female, like one of the greatest female MMA wrestlers. I mean, MMA fighters. That could translate well into freaking wrestling. But the thing is, they put her right onto the main roster, into the main light, without any kind of training. Like, the only training she had was literally while she's working. So
okay. I will give you that, no question.
My thing is, if they were to actually like train her and give her that time to kind of work and build up to it, she can fucking dominate the women's division. But the thing is with WWE is they don't give people that chance to kind of like get to greatness. It's like they're just like, they kind of build their story on this one idea and this one idea only, that they don't, even if it flops, they don't have a backup. It's just like, okay, well, we're fucked. Like, damn, now what are we going to do? That's the same thing that happened with Roman. Like, look at Roman and this whole entire Goldberg thing. You had Goldberg as freaking champion for like no reason, because you were trying to build up this whole Roman taking the belt. And that ended up flopping again for 2 times. And I felt like that's what they were doing. Instead of giving Shayna the damn belt, I feel like they're waiting on Ronda to come back, whatever the reason may be. And it's like, now you have a shitty women's division until this one plan, it may or may not work out in your favor.
I agree with that.
You could have been built it up with Shayna taking the belt.
Yeah. But I would
Absolutely.
say that the only thing I would say is that Ronda Rousey would match the physicality with Shayna Baszler, no question.
But that would be a more interesting match than Ronda versus fucking Becky.
Yeah, I'm saying what I'm saying is
that would be way better than like, and in the meantime, like you could have like better rivalries. Like Shayna would be a greater opponent to challenge these people as opposed to fucking Becky. But you're having Becky like literally go through all these women, and she's not even, it's not that she's not talented, but it's just kind of boring because she doesn't have anything new. She just has the disarmer, and she just talks a bunch of shit saying I'm the man.
You know, it even validated to me that Becky Lynch can't beat Shayna Baszler straight up. Like
that was
that finish just gave it away big time. Big indicator of that.
She tried to do the disarmer 5 times, right? She tried to do the disarmer 5 times, all failed, right? I'm like, yo, that shows you got no moves against this person. You got no moves.
Meanwhile, Shayna just like picked her up with her pinky and flung her onto the freaking announcement desk like 20 times.
That was a great spot.
Like that's how I was just like, you can't be serious that you're making someone like Becky Lynch beat freaking Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
Shayna had the match won, literally.
Seriously. She did.
She had the match won. Like, she put on the Karafuda clutch, but she fell for the same thing that happened with her when she was down at NXT. Did the Karafuda clutch, but the thing is this: if you realize when she did it, she didn't had it all the way, because usually she put the legs in too rather than the arms.
You don't really need to put the legs into just to have a move perfected. You can just I could poke you out.
True. But if she did, let's be real. If she did put the legs in,
it's a wrap.
That's what I'm saying. If she put the legs in, Becky would have never did that pin that she did.
Well, technically, she did it twice. Remember, she did it on the ropes too.
She did it on the ropes.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about when she was in the ring on the ring mat.
I see what you're saying. I feel you.
If she did it on the ring mat, 100%, Shayna would have won if she had the legs in. But
honestly, I feel like Becky Lynch's like gimmick, it would have even been better if they pinned her as like kind of like, you know how Eddie was Eddie cheated his way into like winning. Like he was good, but he also cheated his way into winning. Like that would even be interesting. But they're just like, it's like the kind of, what are they trying to like put her as? Because she's not no MJF. She's not no like what is her character? Like what is her role at this point? Because last WrestleMania she was the underdog. Now it's like this WrestleMania is just like,
okay,
I don't know. Even the arrogance isn't working for her.
I disagree with because like you can't, in terms of the Eddie, you can't put something that someone did in the past, someone in the present. You can't do that.
They always try it though.
Hold on.
Yeah, it doesn't always work out well.
It doesn't work out. It depends. Honestly, it depends on the person.
It does.
And the person. Like the only people personally who I feel should only do Eddie's moves is Rey Mysterio. He's earned that. I don't care, right? It's Rey Mysterio. That's his guy, right? But for Becky Lynch,
I'm not saying like steal his moves, but I'm saying like have that slide kind of thing going for it. Like there was just nothing. I felt like, I don't know, for me, I was just like, there had to be something more. Like you could have, like if you were going to have her retain, you could have had her like introduce something.
Yeah, something that's unforeseen from someone like
for
Becky.
For a Mania match. This wasn't even like freaking the Saudi Arabia show. This is fucking Mania.
You're right. But you're right in terms of that, but in terms of having a different persona, it would have made her a heel automatically, right? But let's go by your idea. Let's say she did that, right? One, she looked like a complete bitch. Totally. Right? She looked like a complete bitch.
Yeah.
But also, I agree with you. Let's say I agree with you, but then again, I disagree with you. I sound like Richard. But if she did that, oh my gosh, you know what? I take everything I said. Terrell, you're right. It would have worked. Like, it would have worked.
It would have made sense because I'm sorry, if I'm going against someone like Shayna Baszler, I'm fucking cheating because this bitch is fucking lethal.
If she cheated, I was like, yo, she could join Seth Rollins in that shit. Monday Night Messiah, Saints, Becky. Oh shit, that shit was fire. Saint Becky. You know what?
Wow, really patting yourself on the back there.
You know what, Tara? I'm giving you credit. That works. I fucks with that. That would have been dope.
Right? It makes sense. Because not for nothing, if I'm going against someone like Shayna Baszler, I'm fucking cheating. This bitch has MMA background. She's fucking beating my ass 100%. Like, it didn't make sense for her to just get it out of nowhere.
Yeah, but alas, none of that happened. All wishful thinking. They did what they did. And, you know, I don't see the sense there is to having Becky retain the championship here. What is she going to do that she hasn't already done during her time on top for the past year or so? I have no idea. I don't know. Yeah, like unless they want to have Ronda Rousey come back, they're able to have her come back and have Ronda and Becky for the first time ever one-on-one at a SummerSlam. There's really nothing right now for her.
Yeah,
I feel like they did drop the ball beyond. They dropped the ball beyond big time last night with this outcome.
And it's like the women's division is going to be complete trash until this happens.
Yep. Moving on, we had Daniel Bryan against Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. Match started off with a game of cat and mouse with Sami running away from Bryan as he was chasing him. Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura stepped in Bryan's way, but Drew Gulak fought them off to help Bryan. At one point, Bryan and Gulak allowed Zayn to walk off ringside and into the back, but Daniel ran to him and brought Zayn back into the ring. Bryan was stiff with a lot of offense throughout this match that he had, giving Sami these slaps that just rang the sound they made throughout the empty venue. Sami fought him off to get some heat back in his favor, but Daniel did not allow that for long, hitting his comeback. Climbs back into the ring after hitting a suicide dive Bryan does on Cesaro and Nakamura. Sami caught him with a huge Helluva Kick as he was coming down, and that was enough for Sami Zayn to win this match and retain his championship.
I'm not going to lie. Like, we all kind of predicted that, like, predicted that Bryan was going to win this match. And my prediction was that Bryan was going to win, Gulak will turn on him, and we will have a great storyline for the championship between Bryan and Gulak, and we did not get that. Low key, I'm really upset about that because their match at Elimination Chamber, if you have not watched that match, watch it. That was a pure wrestling match. And like the fact that we didn't get a turn, low key was kind of upsetting because that's what we predicted.
What do you mean a turn?
For Drew Gulak to turn on Bryan.
Nigga, who will give a damn if Drew Gulak turn on Daniel Bryan? Drew Gulak is a no-name.
Okay,
I think that's the point though. Like Bryan could build him up.
That's when clearly, Ricardo, you're clueless of what I'm talking about.
No, I'm not clueless of what you're talking about because, to be honest with you, it is not a person's job to make. To me personally, is it really Daniel Bryan's job to hype up Drew Gulak, or is that Drew Gulak's job?
I think it's a little bit of both, honestly.
It's a little bit of both.
No.
Yes, dude. We've seen instances of one superstar building off the hype of another superstar by making them look good in the matches and the promos. We've seen that time and time again.
Exactly.
If that was true, then Drew Gulak should have been in this match. B, he should have fought Daniel Bryan more often. Since either of them did not happen, it would have meant nothing to me if Drew Gulak became a heel. I'm like, if he became a heel, I'm like, so.
Let them take their time to tell a story, to try to tell a story here, something compelling. You never know. It could actually work out.
Story hasn't been. Let me ask you guys a question. How long Drew Gulak has been with Daniel Bryan?
Only a month.
Just about a month, yeah.
Just a month.
Okay, a month. Right?
That's a short amount of time, actually.
That's short.
Yeah, it hasn't been like 6 months out of the year, and they haven't really progressed anything or made Gulak into more of a legit star in the name.
Like, if you said 6 months, I would have gave it to you, but it's only been a month.
No, I'm saying what have they done? Even if it's been a month, what have they done?
They were feuding with Sami, Nakamura, and Cesaro.
Daniel Bryan has been. Excuse me.
No, both
of them. Yeah, it's been like a 2-on-3 situation.
Both
throughout. Yeah, but the main story is Bryan and Zayn. But Gulak's really helping him get there.
I guess, because let's be real, Daniel Bryan doesn't need any help.
But we know that, dude. Like, come on. A proven commodity time and time again. Like, Gulak is benefiting twofold from this. Working with a big name like Bryan, he's going to get recognition. He's going to get better. Well, maybe not better in the ring because he's already pretty damn good in the ring. But he's going to learn a thing or two along the way.
The main person that's benefiting from this entire situation is Drew Gulak. Seriously.
No question.
He needs more time. That's what he needs. He needs that.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I said he should. If you really want him to you want to propel him, put him in the ring more often.
But that's something WWE has to decide, and you know that's not going to happen.
So that's what I'm saying. So what's the point?
They did have Ricardo. They did have Gulak pin Shinsuke Nakamura on SmackDown last week for Bryan to get this title opportunity against Zayn. So it's not as if they completely got him out of the ring.
Shinsuke Nakamura is a joke.
I'm not gonna disagree with you on that. He is a joke.
That dude
sad to say.
Shinsuke Nakamura, a guy who I fucking love to watch from NXT, is a complete bum right now, right? So what if Drew Gulak pinned Shinsuke Nakamura? That don't mean that's. Oh my gosh, like I got gas for days. Like Drew Gulak, he pinned Shinsuke Nakamura, right? It's me and Richard would say at sometimes, who the fuck cares? It's, to me, the biggest thing to propel him is to beat Daniel Bryan 1v1.
And dude, they still have time to tell that story.
It's Daniel Bryan. If he won yesterday, which he should have won yesterday, Drew Gulak would have been first in line. No question.
Yeah.
Right? That's why this match, to me, it was disappointing because I did not like how the match started at all. It really annoyed me.
I'll give you that, man. Sammy was portraying that chicken shit heel we were talking about.
I did not watch the match. I was doing. I'm not gonna front. I was doing some schoolwork, and I got a 92 on that shit. Right? I got a 90.
Did you just clap yourself?
I got a 92 out of 100 out of that shit. And Daniel Bryan carried that match. He carried the match throughout the whole match, right? I did not like it. It was disappointing. They shitted on the IC title even more in that match than the person holding the belt. Right? It's going to be tight.
Exactly, especially given that these are two of the best workers you have under contract to the company. It's just a shame we didn't get a longer bout here. I think if you would have given them another 10 minutes or so, because the match went just under 10, they would have definitely blown us away with it, for sure.
It's like they got lazy halfway through.
Exactly.
Honestly.
And also the way the match was laid out, because Sammy, like I said, was playing the chicken shit heel. And you had the multiple occurrences of interference with Gulak and Nakamura and Cesaro. That certainly didn't help.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're going to move on here with John Morrison against Kofi Kingston against Jimmy Uso in a ladder match, triple threat ladder match for the SmackDown tag team titles. You said
I really like this match.
You really like the match?
This match was excellent. I'm not going to front. I was very skeptical about this match because, one, it's a ladder match. Two, there's no crowd. So these three individuals really had to, step it up, heavily. And they did that. And, one best part of the match was when John Morrison was walking on the
the tightrope on the top, the tightrope up on the top rope.
I'm like,
rope.
that was impressive.
That was impressive.
And did the Spanish Fly, that part. Yeah. And the other part was when he had Jimmy Uso on the ladder on top of a brick on the ropes. He did a Starship Pain. I'm like, do you know how difficult it is from where he is standing to do a Starship Pain from the pole to the like with very, very little space. I'm like,
exactly, because usually Morrison starts off with his back turned on the opponent. He just started this time frontwards.
He started from the front. The only thing I did not like about the match was the way it finished, because to me it was a little silly. I'm like, all three of them had the belts. Morrison grabbed the two straps. He was pushed, and then the belts fell with him. I'm like,
that was pretty contrived, especially like the lead up to it. I felt,
because this reminded me of the ladder match at TLC 2011 or
2010?
I think it was 2010.
I know what you're talking about.
Ziggler, Kofi, and Swagger. They had the belts. Dolph got the belt. I think the belt fell or something.
The belt fell. Ziggler was able to retrieve it because all those other competitors were up top on the ladder. They couldn't get it in time. You're right. It was very reminiscent of that situation. Yeah. In that match.
But above all else, the match was good. Like, it was the best.
I liked it.
Up to Mania yesterday, up to that part was the best match between the first five.
I agree. Period. Ricardo, Tara, you got any thoughts on this match?
Honestly, I think it was one of the better matches. Like, I saw it this morning because, honestly, I tapped out last night after the whole Shayna thing. But I'm not going to talk about it. I saw this morning, and actually, it was actually one of the better matches that was put on for last night. And I felt like it was kind of a sleeper match for last night, part one of WrestleMania. But I'm actually surprised. I'm not going to lie. I was actually kind of surprised.
I wasn't surprised about yesterday because John is one of the most athletic wrestlers of all. There is no question. This nigga will jump from anywhere and make that shit fucking pretty.
The only reason why I was doubtful is because you know how WWE is with their athletic wrestlers. They don't care.
Of course. I completely no question. But however, the thing what I like about this match, you grabbed three of the most athletic guys
in each team.
Exactly, in each team. Was it Jimmy or Jay?
Jimmy.
You got Jimmy, you got Kofi, you got John Morrison, right? Each one, I'm not confronting, each of them showed out their own way, of course, right? And the one that made the match look fantastic was obviously John Morrison.
Yeah.
He made the match dope, right? The match was solid. It wasn't excellent. It wasn't good. It was just solid, right? It was just solid. That's all I gotta say.
It was definitely one of the better matches of last night, though.
It was not the best match of the card of night one. No, you're wrong.
I'm just.
Wait, so what would you? Did I say it was the best match? I said it was I was surprised it was one of the better ones.
Richard said it was the match of night one.
I felt like it was like a sleeper though. I don't know. I slept on a lot of the matches for yesterday, but honestly, I had my right because it was probably just that one match that I was just like, yeah, this is actually pretty decent.
No, I agree with your sentiment there, Tara.
Because let's be real, we weren't all honest. We weren't all thrilled about night one's card.
No, we weren't.
But let's go on to the next one.
Yeah, I might as well. But before we get into that, I would say pretty good work from all involved. I thought it was very, very enjoyable for what it was worth. Great spots and so finish there. Like, I get what they were trying to do with the creativity, but it didn't really work out for me there. We had Kevin Owens against Seth Rollins. Their first singles match since this iteration of their rivalry began back in November, I believe. Owens began by tossing Rollins all over ringside onto the barricades, but Rollins got the advantage after a huge black body drop onto the ring apron, the hardest part of the ring, as Michael Cole lets us know 1,001 times. Rollins then hits a Falcon Arrow to Kevin on the apron, I should say. A couple suicide dives on Owens, but Owens came back with his comeback. Rollins hits the buckle bomb, followed by 2 super kicks in succession. Owens then manages to hit him with a pop-up powerbomb for a near fall. They made their way onto the timekeeper's area where Seth grabs the ring bell and smashes Owens in the face with it, causing the ref to call for a DQ. That's how the first part of the match ended.
I'm going to stop you right there. The minute that they did that, I was about to shit all over this match. And I know I'm not the only one. But continue.
That's all you want to
say. What happened?
No,
because a lot of people like dead ass. Like all of my friends, I was watching it as I was looking on Twitter and everything. A lot of people was gonna shit on this match because of the DQ finish.
Yeah, thank God they turned that around and decided that wasn't gonna be the end of this match completely. Rollins was walking off when the match concluded there when Owens grabbed a mic and called him a wuss for doing that and told him to finish the job like a man, this time in a no disqualification match.
He did not call him a wuss. The nigga called him a bitch.
Okay.
I saw that shit.
Dude, I'm paraphrasing. I didn't call him
a man, not a kid.
I was just paraphrasing, my guy.
No. Called him a bitch.
Okay, fine. He called him a bitch. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got called out for that. So, yikes. Rollins accepted anyways and beat on Owens for a while with a steel chair, but Kevin came back with the ring bell and hit Rollins in the head with it twice. And at this point, he was laid out in the announce table. Owens then looks up at the huge WrestleMania sign and climbs up on top of it. Must have been a good 20 to 25 feet up, honestly. Owens then fell off with an elbow drop onto Seth through the announce table, a la Shane McMahon. I guess he learned something from shooting with him. Kevin then hits the stunner on Rollins and picks up the W. I really liked this match overall. I hated the finish that they did initially, and I would have hated it completely and would have shitted on this match entirely had they ended things with those two there. But they didn't, and they ended up doing a very good job there. So kudos to these two.
Right. Yeah, like the end result at first was crap, but then they saved themselves with turning it into a no DQ match, and then Kevin finally won his WrestleMania match fair. He had no help. He did it all by himself. Back to what Seth Rollins was saying a couple of weeks ago on Raw, he finally won, and then that's pretty much it. But other than that, good match. Glad that he won. And that's pretty much there it is.
Yep. Simple as that. You guys got any thoughts on that?
Nope.
No.
All right. Moving on. We had Braun Strowman against Bill Goldberg for the Universal Championship. Listen.
My man Abba, I want to say this just this quick. If I see another ass nigga like Goldberg, I'm taking out Edge because he's the exception. And Taker, he's the exception too. If I see another Hall of Famer in a WWE ring again, I'm gonna lose it.
Well, then it's not looking good, Ricardo. Sorry to say.
Yeah, that match is so trash. But I mean, what did you expect? Like, there wasn't any build up to it. On top of that, like
last minute as it can be.
I feel so bad for Braun Strowman because can you imagine winning your first championship?
He didn't even earn it.
With that,
he didn't earn jack shit, guys.
He didn't earn jack shit.
But he didn't earn it. But can you imagine that being your first time winning this title?
Exactly.
No.
2.5 years. 2.5 years too late, might I add. So
yeah.
It's not even that. Like you back in Elimination Chamber.
They literally made that championship look like it was complete garbage.
Yeah, but the thing is this.
That's it.
For Braun Strowman, right? He lost the Intercontinental Championship at Elimination Chamber. And then we literally do not see him for an entire month. And then out of nowhere, he gets a Universal Championship match. And he said in an interview right after that, oh, thanks for the great opportunity of getting the championship match. I'm like, what opportunity? You never got it. So
technically, he did got it. Vince
how?
I just told you. Vince just like, here, give it to him. Let me ask you a better question. If it wasn't for Braun Strowman, who would you want to see Goldberg face to lose the title to? That's a better question. Who other than Braun Strowman would you see beat Goldberg to win that title?
Obviously, Reigns. If he did
not seeing.
Okay.
Obviously, Reigns, but that's if he did.
No. We're talking about. We already know what happened to Reigns.
Exactly.
I'm saying if he did not like took himself out of Mania, if he did not took himself out of Mania, he would have been.
We know that. I said what I meant by that was take out Reigns because we know why, because of the virus situation. And I'm saying if it wasn't for Braun Strowman, who's his replacement? Answer that question.
Not looking like anyone else, honestly.
Exactly. You had no choice. You had no choice. You needed somebody who's a full-timer in the WWE to get rid of Goldberg, to get the Universal title back to a full-timer. Roman Reigns said himself he'd rather face a full-time wrestler than a part-time wrestler. He also said himself the only part-timer that he'll be willing to face is The Rock. Other than that, there is no part-timer he would rather face, right? And Brock Lesnar. And I forgot about Brock Lesnar, right? So Roman Reigns would come back to face Braun Strowman for the Universal title once this shit is long and gone. And that's why you guys had no choice. No, WWE had no choice to bring in Braun Strowman to beat Goldberg. So all about this stuff about the opportunity and stuff like that, let me ask you guys a question. If you're Braun Strowman, would you say no to that opportunity?
No.
Hell no.
Obviously, no.
Then case closed.
I'm just saying it's a shitty way to gain your title.
Exactly.
It's just such a shitty way. Like
Ricardo, I'm sorry for interrupting, guys, but Ricardo, can you please just close the curtains or something? Because it's just like getting all up in your camera, your view.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a glare. It's just there's no curtains here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can you at least make your head block it or something?
Touched by God.
But like,
I guess that wasn't better. All right, never mind.
It was a shitty way of how he got the opportunity. Like mad fans like cutting down on how he got it.
Well, the thing is, like, it didn't make sense. But, like, that's not his fault. It's WWE's fault.
Is that better?
But like the match was like 4 spears.
Yeah, better. It's better. Yeah,
you're fine.
Even better. You're good now.
Like 4 spears, 4 power slams. Match was done.
I was literally. We had 2 unique moves in this entire match. 8 moves total, and that was all she wrote for Goldberg. So basically,
it's crazy because for Goldberg, it took so. I mean, like, this is the same Goldberg that defeated The Fiend.
Plus, from a trainer standpoint, since yours truly is a personal trainer, that nigga was out of shape.
Okay. I was thinking the same thing. I was literally thinking that same thing. I was like, why is he huffing so bad?
Goldberg was out of shape. He had his face was puffy. You could tell he gained weight. He lost some muscle. He lost some of his muscle and shit like that. And the nigga got no legs. None of these niggas in wrestling works on their legs. You frail ass niggas. I was like, Lord have mercy.
Dude, everyone treats the legs like they're fucking nothing. They only care about the upper body.
Work on legs, okay? But Goldberg definitely gained some weight. He was out of shape by far. There was no question.
I know, he was huffing from his walk to the ring.
Yeah.
It's like that short ass walk to the ring, he was already out of breath.
I was like, when I saw him come out of his locker room, I'm like, yo, this nigga is so fat.
Okay. Thank you for the personal trainer's perspective. But listen,
you gotta teach him sometimes.
Yeah, true. And listen, I'm glad they got this out of the way. That's all I'm gonna say on this match. I'm glad they got it out of the way on night one, and better yet, it wasn't even the main event.
Thank God this was not the main event.
Yeah. Oh no, we have one more match left to go here, which we might as well get into right now because we're all waiting for that. AJ Styles versus The Undertaker in a boneyard match. I am so glad with the way they ended up approaching this one.
Let's be real. It was buried alive.
Buried alive.
It was buried alive.
Okay.
Buried alive.
Okay, fine. It was Styles the Taker in a boneyard match, i.e. a buried alive match.
Honestly, this match was so WWE. I loved it. Like old school WWE. Like there were times where it was so high key corny, but I was like, I love it because it's so old school. Like I loved every bit of it. AJ Styles is fucking hilarious.
And plus, Richard. I want to switch the camera to Richard. Hold on. Where you? There you are, Richard. This was the best match of the night.
That's what I said.
You said what, guys? What? You're my witnesses. What?
No,
Shut up, Richard.
You're talking about. Listen to me. When we were talking about the ladder match, I said up to that point, from the previous four matches that we said.
Richard did say that.
To that point.
No, Richard did say that.
Well, shut the fuck up.
Nah.
I knew the Boneyard match was the best match of the entire show.
Richard knows wrestling. This nigga had.
Anyway,
this man right here, Richard is something else.
In terms of the Boneyard match from the beginning to end, it was very entertaining. The way that Taker came in with my boys Metallica, thank God.
Nigga, you didn't even know the song until the match started.
I know.
Find that song.
But
hey,
like,
I'm not afraid to admit it. I love Metallica to death, but I didn't even know the song.
Exactly.
You didn't know about the song. He's lying.
I said Metallica. That's all I said.
No. You act like you as if you knew the song. You did.
I never said I knew the song. All I said was that Metallica. That's all I said.
My brother, you know what
happened? Shut your bitch ass up.
You know what happened? When Taker came out, right, with his ring gear and shit like that, this nigga Richard ran downstairs to my room. I was like, yo, Richard. He was like, Ricardo, you gotta find that song ASAP. That song is going into my phone. I was like, nigga, it's only been 20 seconds. The match didn't even start yet. What the hell are you talking about? I don't know the goddamn song. Find it yourself.
Oh my God. Well, we can bicker about this back and forth till the cows come home. But let's just move on here. Listen, they didn't approach this with a straight up wrestling match because that probably would not have ended up being pretty at all. So they shot this out of the performance center at a graveyard, and this had a Walking Dead-esque feel to it throughout.
I like how they filtered Undertaker. I just love how they filtered the shit out of him because he looked actually like he was in his prime again.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Really this was like 2000 Undertaker.
Mm-hmm. All right, so to start this off, they showed a limousine riding into the graveyard, and a casket was taken out in the back, and AJ Styles popped out of that casket, just mocking the dead man.
That shit was fucking hilarious.
It was.
That was funny.
It was. Styles is phenomenal. Well, no pun intended. Pun definitely intended, actually. Phenomenal as a heel. So, Undertaker.
He's so fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm. He was waiting for him to arrive, and sure enough, Undertaker rode into the graveyard on a motorcycle with Metallica playing in the backyard, which was a nice touch there.
It was so badass. I was like, okay. I was hyped.
Yep. And he arrived there, and this wasn't the Phenom Undertaker that he's been portraying since 2004. Oh, no. It was the American Badass Undertaker, which made sense that he would reprise this gimmick even for just one night for this particular match.
The American Dead Man. That's what I'm calling him.
Okay, the American Dead Man, Ricardo's calling him. They go at it to start things off. Taker throws Styles into the casket head first, then proceeds to throw AJ onto the front of the car. Taker's forearm started bleeding at one point after hitting the car window after Styles sidestepped him there. AJ comes back.
That nigga took it like a man.
Did, but
he was like, "Oh, this is nothing."
But then again, it was like fucking what's that kind of fake glass they call it? Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. I forgot about the name.
Plexiglass.
Yes, that kind of glass.
There you go. Plexiglass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, if it was real glass, they would have, ended the fucking match right there. Yeah, exactly.
He took it like a champ.
I like Goldberg in WCW, the way he took it. AJ comes back by throwing dirt in his eyes and hits him with the low blow afterwards. Taker fends him off with some punches, manages to get AJ into the burial hole. But before he could do anything else, the OC come into sight and had Druze as a backup to finish Undertaker. They were unsuccessful. Taker fought them off with ease. Then Gallows and Anderson attempted to take him down, but they didn't fare better. As
wait, can we pause there? I loved the fact that it was like the Matrix for 5 seconds.
So true. All of them were just fending him off one by one, getting a turn. It was so stupid.
Like
it was like so movie-esque.
Yeah, it just literally paused, and then Undertaker's like, "I can do this."
Yeah,
yeah. Continue.
Yeah, at this point, Styles came back and blasted Taker in the back with a tombstone, which Taker collapsed for. Styles then ran Undertaker into the wall of the house that was by there, and they went through that together. AJ started monologuing, which was pretty stupid, and Taker responded with one of these, flipped him off, which was just hilarious. Styles then hits the back of Undertaker with a broomstick, and Taker fell into the burial hole. The win was in AJ's favor. Bro. What happened?
It was a shovel.
It was a shovel, yes. Yes, I kept saying broomstick. The win was in AJ's favor, as he assumed, when Undertaker reappeared right behind AJ as he was about to drive the dirt into the burial hole. Those mystical powers haven't disappeared from Undertaker, I see. From this point on, it was all Undertaker with the offense as they fought on top of the house. The OC appeared back into the fray, but they were beaten down some more. Luke Gallows was actually tossed out of on top of the house onto the ground. Taker slowly approached AJ at this point, grabs him by the throat, chokeslammed him off the house into the ground. Looked great, despite the numerous cuts that they had.
I think that added to it, actually.
Yeah, I would say so. At this point, Taker took his sweet-ass time with finishing Styles as he was asking AJ how old he was, what his wife's name was, and AJ was practically unconscious after taking a chokeslam. So Taker then carries AJ by the burial hole, but started to show some mercy towards him as AJ was begging to not bury him, which I found hilarious, by the way. I don't know if you guys did. Please don't bury me. I don't know.
That
was funny. And Undertaker's not known for outright burying people. Like a lot, like I can name 5 other people who are more known for doing that throughout their careers. But Taker, yeah. Undertaker hugged him, showed some remorse and empathy towards AJ, then hit AJ with the big boot and fell back into the burial hole and proceeded to drown him with a mountain of dirt. And Undertaker wins the match to close out the show. Anything I say here, anything any of us say here will not do it justice. This is the best thing of the entirety of Night 1 on the show. And Night 2 has a lot going for it with most of these big matches coming up. Excuse me. But I don't know if they'll necessarily fare better than what they did here.
I'll also say this. In terms of Undertaker, this was the best way he's been booked since
in a while.
Since 28. Since 28. He's been booked perfectly. And we're not going to be surprised if next year we see Taker again, obviously.
I think this is like a one-time pull only because I felt like this is some way that he should have been retired or something. Yeah. Because I feel like you're not going to get this opportunity again to filter him the way that you did to make him look as good and good as
you're not getting it twice.
This played to his strengths.
You're not going to be able to be pulling off into... Because, I mean... The only reason why they would pull it off like this is because it wasn't streamed live.
Yeah, that's
like that was clearly an edited video. That was clearly I'm pretty sure they shot this numerous times. You're not gonna get this again. They only had this opportunity because of this virus thing, and that was the only reason why that it made it so great and so acceptable.
Well, he went out in a very strong note. The way that he was booked, the way he was portrayed yesterday.
I hope he never returns to WWE now that he's had this moment.
True.
He always,
Yes.
people always, I'm not
it's going to kill it.
If next year's Mania in LA, don't be surprised if they use him again. Like, seriously, especially how the way he was booked yesterday. Like, a lot of fans like, oh, I want this Taker from this point forward if they're going to use him again.
It's not. It's going to like completely ruin it.
Exactly.
Like completely. If he comes out live in that motorcycle gear, you are going to see every single wrinkle that they were able to Photoshop in or like kind of filter out of that freaking edited video. You're not going to get the same mystique because
check this out. Let's say they do continue.
But what are they going to do? Every video is going to be...
It remains to be seen on what they are going to do. But also, shout out, WWE is going to do a series on Taker.
I am watching that.
I'm watching that. I am
definitely watching that because I want to know what this nigga went through.
Yeah.
Right? I want to see what he went through and Michelle McCool went through. I want to see that. But back to Taker, right? Hypothetically, let's say they keep this version of Taker, right? Let's say like they keep it, right? This could possibly help out other stars because
I agree. I see what you're getting at.
If we get this Taker, right, it will make you tune into watching what he does next. Yeah. It's because he's blossoming into something that we've seen of years ago, but it's predicated to this era.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So like, Richard, give me one guy. Give me any guy. I don't care who it is. Give me one guy.
In today's roster?
Give me one guy. I don't care who it is.
Aleister Black.
Okay, Aleister Black, right? Aleister Black. If we get this Taker against Aleister Black, I bet you Aleister Black I bet you it will be a better match with this Taker than with Taker being as the Dead Man.
I see what you're saying. I do. But how are they going to book it as well as that? Because he looked good because of the edits, is what I'm saying.
That's also
because it was pre-taped. It wasn't a live match, and that wasn't a wrestling match. Because what you don't understand is like the reason why it looked good is because he didn't look old for once, which he is. He's old.
I agree.
This is what made it like, oh, this is so good to watch. This is so great because it's like the nostalgia because he doesn't look like he's that old, like broken wrestler that he is, and the reason why he needs to retire. I felt like that was good as it is, but going forward, you're not going to get the same result.
So would y'all say only for Taker?
It's going to fuck it up if they were to move forward.
No. Well, I agree with you on that one. But like, let's say it wasn't let's say it was recorded, like this one. What would you say about that?
I wouldn't mind it, but then it's gonna always be like it's not going to hold the same value. Like it worked because of everything that's happening. It made sense. But if you're seeing that's the only matches that's being produced by Taker over and over, it kind of dries out. It's not like it kind of loses its touch because it's not like it's taking place at like his house.
I mean,
or his area.
Like 5 years ago.
Huh?
The Dead Man persona lost its touch 5 years ago.
When the streak ended,
Exactly. So if you bring in this Taker,
the character fits. I'm not saying the character doesn't fit, but I'm saying he can't pull it off live. And if he was to keep doing only camera edits for matches, it kind of looks tacky.
It's gonna run its course over time. The reason why this was so special, I feel, was because of the fact that Taker's persona was back, and they did it in a Buried Alive match, and they had, not to mention, they had a lot of smoke and mirrors behind the production to make it look great.
And plus, he pulled in a lot of realism into this rivalry.
Exactly.
That
helped.
Caliber of the match. That's why everything worked. From the realism of between Taker and Michelle McCool to the realism of AJ and stuff like that. That's why it worked. Because let's be real. Someone said a very good point. If this was in front of a real crowd, would we get the same type of matchup that we saw yesterday? And the answer is no.
I agree with that.
Absolutely.
I definitely agree.
Like, let's be real. If this was in front of a real crowd, the match would have been...
Which they wouldn't have gotten away with if it wasn't for this whole Corona thing. Because even if, like, you know, they were to do it at a graveyard, it would still be streamed live, and you would still see the faults. But what
I liked about this match was, like, no commentary.
That was the best part of the whole match.
That was the best part. I was going to mention that myself. Imagine if they had commentary over this match.
That's what I'm saying. No commentary, no ring announcing, no crowd, just them, and they just fought. And plus, like, I remember someone said in the comments about this match on Instagram saying, "Oh, how this not really, but like, remember how final deletion between Matt and Jeff?
Oh my gosh!
No crowd, none of that shit. Remember final deletion between Matt and Jeff Hardy?
Yes.
In TNA?
Yeah.
No commentary, no ring announcing, none of that shit. This instantly reminded you of that aspect.
Yeah, and let me tell you something about. Let me stop you right there, Richard. The thing is, they actually hired a couple years back Jeremy Borash from Impact. He's been with them since the very beginning. So the fact that WWE picked him up was very interesting.
I remember seeing him once or twice.
2 years ago, he was actually the mastermind, him and alongside Matt Hardy, the creative mind of Hardy, behind the final deletion segment that they pulled off a couple years back in TNA. The creative juices were flowing from Jeremy Borash and Matt Hardy's brains, respectively. There's no question in my mind that Jeremy Borash had a huge role to play in last night's this match between Taker and AJ, because it had elements.
Oh no! I know who did it. I know it was. They said it was Jeremy Borash and Triple H.
Okay.
That's it.
But, I don't see this being replicated too often. I think it would take away from...
It shouldn't be. Because the thing is, with the replication of this match compared to the final deletion that they had back in TNA, like, first things, the most important part, like, you got to find the right people to do this match. Like the Boneyard match was a cinematic version of it. Today we're gonna get a cinematic version of Cena against Wyatt. Hopefully no commentary, none of that shit, because it was also filmed at another location. So hopefully that this match.
Well, actually, no. That would be interesting because Bray has done that before. Because Bray has worked with Matt Hardy.
Randy Orton.
On a
similar.
Yeah, but actually, he's worked on several projects, and his creativity is definitely there. So I think it'll be pretty cool to see what he does.
Well, we just gotta wait and see for later.
I hope we see like a Wyatt family resurrection.
We're home.
I know.
You saw? We're home.
I don't know with whom, but I'm saying like I'm hoping like we get something.
One's in TNA.
Kind of cool.
One is one's in A. I'm sorry, I said TNA. One's in AEW. One is Washed as Hell, and
so Washed as Hell. I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like at this point, Bray needs something to save him. Because.
But here's the thing. What does Bray actually need? Every single time they try to book this dude strong, they always put him off in the shit list. What can you possibly think of? Wyatt family was a bust. The Wyatt family was a bust. Matt and Bray did not last for that long. Bray tried to go on his own to some degree, and that failed. And now this. Every single thing that they have done with Bray has went to shits.
That's true.
The Fiend lost his entire mystique since Hell in a Cell.
Listen, we'll find out what the hell they do, what they end up doing with Bray and Cena later tonight with their Firefly Funhouse match. Will it do a whole lot for his momentum? I don't think so. But we'll see what they have up their sleeve. It will probably be entertaining along the way. We'll see.
I hope Goldberg pops out and he can.
If that would, then I have nothing else to say about Bray Wyatt ever again. I mean that. But overall, back to on the whole with night one, it was a 50-50 effort, in my opinion. First half of the show was boring, and I tuned out a lot of the time. Second half picked up and had mostly good going for it, minus the Universal title match. So we're going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and checking out our thoughts on Night 1 of WrestleMania. And here's to a better showing with Night 2 later tonight. We have Rhea Ripley against Charlotte Flair, Edge against Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre against Brock Lesnar, as something to really sink our teeth into. So we'll be back with a review of Night 2 sometime tomorrow and give
all the good matches
most of the good matches, yeah, they're taking place.
All the good matches happening later.
Yeah.
Tonight.
So we'll see how it goes. So until then, take care, guys. Have a good one.
My main purse.
Peace.
See you guys.
Peace out.